We've done a whole tour. Founder of Farmxyz, Alex Mincu. Alex back. Did you go all the way around? You went all the way around. I could have kept going all afternoon. Take a seat. We also have venture capital from Pereira. We've seen him already today. José Pereira, please join us on stage. And also head of partnerships at Herity Network, Mera. Anna, please join us. Fantastic. And we also have investor Mike Costache. Please join us, Mike. He's the only man. He's the only one on the panel who gets a clap. I'm not quite sure why you don't clap for the others. I'm sure they all deserve a clap. Do they deserve a clap? Let's clap for the others. That's right. Feeling good now. Everyone was thinking, hang on a minute, where's the claps gone? Don't I deserve a clap? Yes, I do. Right. And naturally, the man who we've seen on stage. I think this is the man we've seen on stage, apart from me, or maybe he's been on stage more than me, I don't know. Please welcome the moderator for this session, founder of Meta Studio, Mugur, Frunzetti.
So, Luxandra, the CEO of Crypto Expo, asked me to moderate a few panels today because she knows I love to hear myself speaking. But this one I actually volunteered, and I think that's one of the biggest elephants in the room today, and every single day in the crypto industry, scamming. And before we get into it, I'm going to tell you a very short story. I realized crypto is going to mass adoption last year, when both my hairstylist and the guy who takes care of my cars in the shop start asking me about things they should buy. Unfortunately, by the end of the year, both of them told me that they lost most of their money and crypto is a scam and they're not coming back. So we have a huge elephant. To go to real mass adoption, we need to address the issue of scam. So, thank you all for joining, and let's talk about scamming. What is scamming? How can we define, how can we categorize different types of scam that are now in the industry?
So, I'm the first because I'm the lady. There are many types of scams, and I think there are the types of scams for the users, are the types of scams for the businesses, and are the types of scams for the developers even. I think that the most important thing that we should discuss today, because most of the people from the audience are investors, like small to medium investors, or even very big investors, I'm not sure. But I'm in crypto since 2015. I saw so many things, I saw so many teams falling, and one of the biggest problems of the crypto industry is education. Is a big challenge to understand cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is from the point of social, from the point of economical, and from the point of technology. And I think when you invest in crypto, you should first understand all. As you said, your hairdresser didn't take the time to understand what is crypto and went inside for like a specula, which I don't think is the right way to do. I don't think also is the right way to invest all the money, but I don't even think that you should think about losing your money when you invest. I think that maybe investing some time in education, investing some time in spending time on Telegram, going to events, going to I don't know, talking with people in the industry, because people in the industry are really open to give advices, especially because it's our business. And when we are talking about scamming, everybody in this room, if one gets scammed, everybody is going to suffer. So it's like a domino effect, like happened with many, many projects until today. So I'm not sure how many types of scams there are, but I think there are, at the moment, thousands. I'm not sure how many times, but what can I say that you can avoid being scammed with education for sure. Spend time in and invest in yourself. of course. Like in everything, actually.
I think it's just important to separate what is a scam, because it's easy for an industry to label everything that fails as a scam. So you have on one side the fraudulent behavior, the hacks and the things that you were speaking about, and on the other side you have businesses that just have flawed business models. So from the times that I've worked with companies directly, there tends to be a difference between what the community sees. What you see, let's say that you go into a Telegram group and then everyone has a perception of something that's disconnected with what's actually happening in the company. I think that group speculation is one of the most strong things that you can fall prey for. So yeah, there was this project I was working with. I was looking at they were doing an over-the-counter deal, and just the difference between what they were presenting versus looking inside of the company and what was actually happening was insane. And the community was so good at picking up the good things and hyping everyone else up, but then on the technology side, they were using an external developer shop that was using a white label solution. I saw the demo, it looked like Excel 2008, but the community had no idea of this, and they had all of this expectation of the release of a demo in 3 weeks, and the price was going up. So there is no malice, there is no fraud there, but that disconnection can cause you to lose a lot of money, and then when the bear market comes, it's just going to wipe out all of these projects that don't have the quality to sustain. So,
I mean, do you think that presenting the community with fake information about what you're really doing and how your product looks is not a form of scam?
I think it is, but from my experience working with the founders, sometimes they are not crypto native, so they might have blind spots to what they think is right. So they're not doing it purposefully, we're going to scam our community, but they just have weak points where they don't see what's wrong. And then just the way that they execute the startup is not there. But yeah, it's just risky. It's risky, and it's easy for one person to fall prey to these things. You have also hacks of the communities. So there was one time, there's this project called Phantom Galaxy. It was a gaming project. There's many things that you have to do in order to get whitelist spots to mint an NFT. The point is that the release of this NFT was in like 2 weeks. Everyone was excited about it. But then the Discord channel got hacked, and then they sent a fake link to mint. And then when I looked at the contract, it turns out that it was not a smart contract to mint the NFT, but it was kind of clicking accept to send the money to the hacker's wallet. So there is that risk also of the chat getting hacked. Yeah.
So just to jump in there, I think there are lots of levels where hacking and scamming can happen. Just staying on the level of the customer, I think you should generally apply the rules that you applied even before crypto, right? So if you received an email that a prince sent you $1 million and you need to send them $5,000, I don't think it would be a good idea to send them $5,000, right? So if you are automatically added to a Telegram channel that tells you to click this link and win some money, you might lose some money if you're doing that, right? So first of all, it's getting education, using. Don't assume there's such a thing as free money anywhere, even in the crypto sphere. There is no free money, so you need to start doing research, and when you feel you're actually you have enough knowledge, then you start moving from top 10 tokens investing right to actually doing investing in other projects and so on and so forth.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mugur and Ruxandra and the whole team for putting on an amazing event. So I'd like to give them a little clap first. A lot of people have tried to do events in Romania. I've done 3 of them, and it's not that easy because there's a lot of people who want to come to the events, but very few people who are willing to help out. So I want to thank all the sponsors and everybody who bought tickets for helping put on this event. So I started in this world in February 2016 in Amsterdam when the market cap was 8 billion and there were 621 cryptocurrencies back then. And I used to think for a couple of years that only stupid people get scammed. And then I became one of them when somebody SIM swapped my phone. I was here in Bucharest and I have a European and American phone, but my phone was everywhere, LinkedIn, publicly available. And it took only one 21-year-old kid in LA to watch out all sorts of people like me speaking at conferences and being advisors to all sorts of projects. And it took $100 to bribe a girl at the T-Mobile store to get my the last 4 digits of my social. And he knew when I was asleep from 4 to 8 in the morning, and he SIM swapped me. Called T-Mobile, said he's Mike, and this is the last 4 of my social, and I lost my phone. Please re-authenticate this new SIM. I wake up at 8 in the morning to go to a crypto conference in London where I had just collected 5.56 Bitcoin from a few sponsors, friends of mine, to sponsor that conference and the pre-conference party. And my phone is not working, and I never knew what that was. So I get there, I go to the conference, I pay on my credit card 7,000 pounds for the party, right? And then I call T-Mobile and say, hey, what's wrong with my phone at the end of the conference, the next day? And they said, oh, Mr. Costache, you told us a few days ago to SIM swap, to re-authenticate a new SIM. He said, no, I'm in London, I'm not in LA. Anyway, that was 5.56 Bitcoin from my Coinbase account and 10,000 TAS tokens from our fund, from an investment fund, $40,000 worth. And I tried to find how to file for this report, and it was impossible for a very long time. Until the closest person next to me, my mentee of 14 years, decided to humanly hack me for 43 Bitcoin and 2,200 Ethereum, worth about $750,000 then, now about 6 million. And then I said, okay, now I gotta go find this guy. 40,000 is one thing, but 6 million is a whole other thing. And trying to find that person, I found the first guy who was jailed for 1 day. The judge let him out because there were no victims. But now I was the first victim that I finally figured out how to report. And the way they found him was very simple. They sent me the prosecutor from San Francisco sent me a one-pager. I filled it out and I signed it, and I gave them the right to go to T-Mobile and request all the technical data on my SIM for that date, July 7, 2017. And they called me and said, oh, yeah, we know him. We arrested him for 1 day, but we had no victims. Now we have you as a victim. Now we're going to go re-arrest him. And it took 3 more years and 4 more victims that they had to find to get him to accept a 10-year plea. But he kept $7 million worth of Bitcoin, which is about 300 million. He kept that. He wouldn't release the keys for that. So he's in jail for 10 years, from 25 to 35 years old. He's probably going to serve only 5 years. It makes me sick every time I think of him. I even wrote to him and I said, I will come get you and pick you up with my car and drive you somewhere when you come out. I want to give you the first hug when you come out of jail, because you taught me a big lesson, how to not be stupid about it. The other person, who's a Romanian, who's my mentee, is still out there, somewhere hiding, and that was the human hack. So, in my opinion, there's 2 kinds of hacks. One is technical, and one is human hacking. So, you gotta be careful of not being too exposed at conferences and putting your content data too much out there. And you have to be careful of the people that are closest to you that may have your keys because you were stupid to let them have the keys so they can pay your bills, or in case the plane falls out, they could give those assets to my family. So that's the reason why I'm here. I don't like to speak at conferences anymore, but he asked me to come speak about this topic, which is very close to my heart. I've since become an expert in FBI filings with the IC3, the Internet Crime Complaint Center. I've gone up all the food chain to everybody in Secret Service, FBI, DOJ, and so forth. So if any of you have any of these stupid mistakes that I've made and you need help, I'm here to pro bono help you, and that's the only reason why I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. So make sure that you know Mike's contacts in case you get hacked. So it seems we have actually two big groups of scamming. One of them we can call it like theft, right? Like it happens with normal fiat, getting all kind of scam to get access to your funds and steal them. It's something that happens with bank accounts and credit cards. Every time I get a new SIM somewhere in the world, like especially not Romania but other countries, I get like 20 messages in the first week. Your account was blocked, your credit card is not working, just press on this button, and I even got one which had no link, very smart, and says call our customer support number, which was of course not the customer support of my bank. And these things seems easy to protect, right? What do? You don't give them your private keys. If you have money that you're not using daily, you put them in a cold storage. Do you guys use cold storage? Who is using cold storage? Okay. I think that if
Quite
you
a few people.
if you have enough assets and you're keeping them as a store of value, you should hold them, I think, in a cold storage. Because once you keep them in an online connected device, the risk is there. What else? Don't keep them in an exchange, right?
For sure.
Let me quote CZ with Binance, the largest today crypto exchange, who just said, don't keep your money in the Binance wallet.
We have a saying, not your keys, not your money.
Not your keys, not your money. Yeah. And then we have the scam that actually worries most people, which is the business scam, right? Projects which are built with the purpose of taking your money and buying themselves a Lamborghini, correctly? And never building the product.
Some people bought McLarens. In my
Okay.
case, I did get $7,000 back from that first $40,000. By the way, the prosecutor sent me a check because they sold us McLaren.
How do we protect against this large scam which affect a lot of people? And to give you the name that we've been around for a while, let's include things like FTX in this, which hurt so many people. How do you make sure that business scams will not become a victim of business scams?
Unfortunately, I think we cannot make sure. Because the greediness of the people, you cannot control. You don't know how personal things can get in a company. When we are talking about billions of euro or dollars, we are talking about other leagues, and we are talking about fights that are on yet another level. As we know, I don't want to scare anybody, but some people in the crypto world even died. I don't want to scare anybody.
They just disappeared. They didn't die.
They just disappeared, sorry. Maybe they are here with us. So we cannot make sure, but we can use ledgers, we can use cold wallets to make sure, and for users, you can invest maybe in launchpads that make due diligence for projects before you invest in them. Because, for example, users, the owners of the launchpads and the team of the launchpads, for example, us at Herity also, we make a really strict due diligence before we put the projects inside our launchpad.
Okay.
Okay, so another thing is on the technical side, and a lot of wallets have started implementing this. There are lots of ways to actually detect if a smart contract will try and steal your money instead of moving them to actually investing something. And some wallets are like Trust Wallet and a few others have started adding these types of AI detections, and we just need more of those.
I mean, if you go and invest in new launch smart contract on DEX, there is a high chance it's not the contract you really want to buy from. And it happens to people that are very experienced also, so yeah.
PancakeSwap has also an option, for example, to check on the contract. I think those are things that people need to actually start paying attention to, because you usually don't necessarily look at those types of things before pressing the button, right?
Is that?
So how to minimize the risk? Is that what we're...
The risk of investing in a fraudulent business.
I don't want to repeat the due diligence part, but it's true. So if you are investing into something that already went through rounds of due diligence, I want to use the example of FTX because they have the top investors in the world do due diligence and it still failed. So it can still go wrong, but the risk as an investor is less. The same thing as a launchpad if you're buying it from there. I think one very clear and easy to see red flag is when they have the link to buy the token off of their website. Maybe you've seen that, so I wouldn't touch that. For example, what else? Anonymous founders. It's not a black and white. If it's anonymous, don't invest. But the risk is just way higher, way higher. So I think that's another thing to keep an eye out for.
Now, it seems that things like FTX are not going to be able to happen soon because regulations are very soon of being implemented, and I'm a libertarian. I'm against regulation in general.
Who's not a libertarian here? Everybody's a libertarian.
However, when it comes to exchanges, I do support regulation. I think that once you take my fiat money and give me a digital asset which is worth that money, those money should never leave a safe account You should not spend them for marketing. You should not pay salaries with it. That's your own operational money that you invest and pay profit to pay or whatever. But my fiat has to stay secure with you, because that's how you guarantee that my assets with you are there. In the next 2 minutes, we only have 2 left. I'd like you all to ask questions. Please ask the hard questions. I told everyone that's the elephant in our room today in crypto room.
Wow. Did anybody get scammed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on,
10,
come
11,
on.
12. Oh
Come
my
on.
God. We should do a conference on scamming. Wow.
And teach people how to scam or
I
what?
don't know, teach
Scamming
people how
expo.
to, get these people to be the speakers.
Anti-scam.
Okay, any questions at all? Just put your hand out, I'll come around and give you the mic. Yeah? Was that a question, or you just still getting scammed? Right. You were scammed a lot. I'm so sorry. What, you can say something, you want to say something about getting scammed? Okay, as long as it's not half an hour, because we have to finish in a couple of minutes.
Thank you very much. So I just wanted to reiterate the fact that there are 2 different ways of getting scammed. One is getting robbed, and one is getting scammed. Getting robbed is very easy because a lot of us trust, and we trust like dummies. Okay, we're monkeys in front of a computer. You ask ourselves if we got scammed. Yeah, well, we got scammed, for instance, with you know those nice wallets. You know, the vanity wallets that look, instead of OX123 whatever, you have like OX coffee. Well, the producer of the code that was written to generate vanity wallets was hacked, and we all got wrecked. All the funds in like millions of wallets were drained. So it's not just a matter of trusting the projects, but trusting the tools that you use in order to do crypto. That's a very important fact. Thank you.
And
But
there you get
actually,
into
blockchain is a secure technology, so most of the problems are human problems.
Yes, to be honest, I mean, following the financial crime on blockchain is technically much easier than one in the banking system, yeah? Because you have all the records, everything is on ledger. Law enforcement took some years to realize what's happening, but as I know, in the last years, the law enforcement in US, but also Europe and Asia, are having a more on-handed approach, and they do actually investigate, and a lot of big names in the industry, I will repeat Binance and thank them for doing this, are very much helping with recovery of assets that are being stolen.
Yes, the worst thing that is that when FBI and LA Sheriff and other people tell you, yes, we know what's going on, and they are just embarrassed to admit they have no clue. And then I ask them flat out, have you ever transferred any cryptocurrency from one wallet to another? And they say yes, but they lie. And then you say, can I please just show it to you just to make sure? And then they get upset because you're telling them that they don't know, they're unwilling to admit. That's the worst part, and that's in many countries the same, not just in America, and here and other places. And they need a lot of education. That's the issue. They don't have the budget to go and pay a company to bring an expert to teach them.
It's also our obligation to take part of the...
Herity network?
No.
We as humanity, who's we?
No, you're cheating for me?
That's who's we.
One more question. We have time just for one more. Come on, take the opportunity.
Hello. My conclusion is that storing value is dangerous and difficult because, especially if you store an important amount of value, you store somehow life there, so somebody else will attempt to take it. So I was always wondering how big money could be stored safely, and maybe you know how MicroStrategy or big investors store money. Is there one person storing only of the entire phrase, or how those big amounts of large amount of value are stored?
I could tell you how Michael Saylor says it. It's secret, number one. Yeah. And two, he tells the world it's through Coinbase. But that's it. So wealthy people's biggest problem in their lives is how to not have their assets stolen. That's why many of them invest a big percentage of their money in art and other things that if you steal it, there's only a few finite people that could buy it, right? So your question is very good, but you're not going to get good answers. When you get up there and you have more and more assets to protect, there's people that are willing to be paid by you to provide your services to store it, and then people forget, you know.
The easiest answer I would give is put it on a cold wallet, yeah, like on a ledger.
We're talking about billions.
Yeah, and
Most about
billions. And then probably put your ledger in a bank safe, so it's a double security that nobody steals from your house. And I don't know. That's
Multi-sign.
I know there are some special projects for diamond owners. Probably you can use the same safe with the diamond owners.
We had a multi-sig, so we had 3 or 4 people had to sign every transaction in the 35 investment that our fund made investments in. That's the way we did it. So trying to have 3 people at the same time out of 4 is pretty hard. But then again, you have to have trust among those 4 people.
There's a very nice, I'm not sure if you know Gnosis. It's a very good project with a safe in which you can online store tokens and assets and multi-sign it. We use it for Meta Studio. In order to make safe, we have 3 key people in the company which have to sign any transaction, and I think this gives us an extra layer of security because we're not in the same country or in the same room most of the time.
Can we have a question from a woman? More participation from women.
No, you're a man, in fact, please.
Women know everything already.
Well, we know that. One more question?
No questions.
No?
That's weird. Most
All right.
of the time they like asking questions.
I'd like to be listened to.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for this.
There we have it. Round of applause. Thank you. You made your way off that side. Fantastic. I mean, we joked about it earlier on about